Hey guys, what's going on? This is Budacris from iPlayCOD.com, and today here I have an achievement guide for you in Buried, the new zombies maps for Black Ops 2. This achievement is actually going to be Awaken the Gazebo, which calls for pack-a-punching a weapon in round 1 without anybody using the bank or the weapons locker. And so step 1, what you're going to do here is grab the Remington chalk off of the wall and draw it there. That will actually give you an extra 1,000 points. Now this is very important because those do play a big role, as we do need that money later on for pack-a-punching. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to just go through the jail cell and go ahead and let Lenny out here. Now, as I said in the other video that we made, just as a detailed guide to Lenny, anytime you have him smash a barrier, it actually does give you an amount of points. The amount of points is just specific to how you use him. And so now we have 1,700 points. That is going to be enough for us to go ahead and go through the saloon so we can get our next bottle of booze. Because keep in mind, you do get one free bottle of booze each time, and it actually looks like it may not be in here. Okay, so it's back at the jail cell. Yeah, so sometimes it does spawn at the jail cell after you use it that first time. Sometimes it'll be in the saloon. Again, that last video I made, I gave the locations there for it. And so what we're actually going to be doing with the booze bottles, we're actually going to be opening up some areas as well as breaking all the barriers, essentially, even to places that we don't need access to, because we do need those points. And so here's just a little quick explanation of how we're doing that. When Lenny actually takes a very long sprint to any kind of objective that he's going to be breaking, it will actually give you a greater amount of points than as if he were to be right next to it. And so as you can see here, I'm right by Jug, making him sprint all the way down to the gunsmith shop. And as you can see, that gave me quite a bit of points there. And so with that, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and buy the next bottle of booze. And again, you can buy the bottles of booze from the tap there for 1,000 points each, which, you know, we do have to spend the 1,000 points, but again, every time you have him break a barrier, if you're doing it the way that I'm showing you here, you'll actually get 1,000 and then some. And so right now what we're doing is we're just backing him into the store so we can have him go take out the barrier that is by Jug. And with that, that's actually going to give us quite a hefty amount of points as well, 2,000. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one here, which is going to be right there between the farmhouse and the gunsmith that you saw there. Also keep in mind, for movement for Lenny, you know, you definitely want to knife him and have him run off. Otherwise, he's just going to go slow as hell. If you knife him, he'll actually sprint for a little bit, and so that'll help you out along this. And so that's the barrier that we're going to be taking out right there. The way that I do it here is I will actually bring him between the saloon and the candy store. That way, that's the furthest amount of distance that you can get and still have him go in a straight line that way. And so you just give him the booze and he'll go ahead and take out a few of those zombies as well, and that barrier. Do keep in mind, any of the zombies that he tramples over, it will respawn, and so you don't want to just think that those zombies aren't going to come back. Now, speaking of those zombies, we do want to kind of be careful here with early rounds, because the zombies do tend to drop nukes in round 1 for some reason, and never really figured out why. But I have had it to where, you know, I knife a zombie and it drops a nuke and then I can't get the achievement anymore. So do be very careful of that. Just try not to kill the zombies right offhand. You definitely want to maybe leave some stragglers, maybe just kill a few with the pistol, but I would definitely avoid knifing them. Alright, and so we're having him destroy the next barrier, which is between the general store and the candy shop there. As you can see, I had taken him back towards the guillotine. And the next one that we're actually going to do is the witch's house, which you do actually have a pretty good line of sight here for it. The one thing is I wouldn't worry too much about this rock right here, because he'll just walk right over it, especially you know, if he's doing the sprint. And so what I do here is I kind of go a little bit ways towards this wagon here. And again, you just want to kind of aim him, because keep in mind, he'll do a straight 180 and run for the objective there. Alright, and so again, as you can see, our points are steadily going up as we're spending the money to make the $1,000 for that, for the booze bottles. And so keep in mind, we also do still have the chalks to work with as well. And so as you can see, I'm just trying to lure the zombies out here. Going to go buy my next bottle of booze. And the next place that we are going to be opening is going to be the church. Now, one thing I do recommend about the church is you do have a little room to play with there, as long as you don't get him too far away, because there is a very big chance that he will hit either the fountain, the rock next to it, or those iron gates. And so what I normally do is I'll kind of take him in between the fountain and this rock here. You don't want to take him too far, because I've had trouble trying to get him just to slide through that and go straight for the church door. Alright, so again, that's probably going to be the least amount of points that you'll get out of all of these. The next one that we're actually going to do is going to give us a hefty amount of points here. And so as we go and get our next bottle of booze, we'll head back to the church. Try to avoid any of the zombies. If you're able to get the permajug perk, I definitely would before starting this. That way you can avoid the zombies if you're leaving some straggling around. If you know how to do that, more power to you. Alright, and so what we're doing here is we're actually going to bring him inside the church all the way to the pulpit. We'll have him stand right there. Again, you just kind of want to aim, make sure he's aimed in the right direction. Give him that bottle of booze and have him on his way. And when he smashes the fountain, it still gives us the amount of points, even though it's technically not a barrier. And so that'll be a good hefty amount of points as well. So now, as you can see here, we do have quite a bit of points here, but it's not nearly enough. So we're going to go ahead and buy that door just to make sure that we have it. And we're going to move on to the second step here, which is to place all of the chalks that we can around the map. Now, there is one area that you're not able to get to place the chalk, and that is due to the amount of points that it costs to get there. And I'm referring to the courthouse. Now, there are 2 free areas that you can get to here, and so that's going to be just essentially 2,000 points that you can get. Now, with that, that's going to be right here. Now, you don't have to place these in any certain order. This is just my personal preference as when I'm placing the guns. But I like to place the AN-94 there next to where the box initially spawns. And what I'll do is I'll place the PDW on the wall that's on the jail cell. Any of you guys have watched the live streams or anything like that, you know, you know my strategy. And so this is where I place these. Now the next one that we're going to be doing here is actually going to go on top of the saloon. Now again, you don't have to pick a certain one. This is just my personal preference. So when you go into the saloon, you do have to buy the couch that leads upstairs. But it actually does pay off, because as you can see here, it is only 750 points, but we're actually getting 1,000 points out of it, and so it's definitely well worth spending that money. Alright, so as you can see, we do have the 5300. What you're going to go ahead and do from there is you're going to jump across, go ahead and turn on the power. That way you don't have to buy the door to the candy shop to turn on the power, because don't forget, we do need power to power the Pack-a-Punch. I've actually gotten through all of these steps once, got to the Pack-a-Punch and couldn't do it because I was a dumbass and forgot to turn the power on. Alright, so next one we have access to, and I can actually show you here, when we go to the courthouse, it's actually 1250, so it's not going to pay off for us to spend 1250 to get only 1,000 points. So what we're going to do is, the last free area that we have to gain access to is going to be the church here. There is one up the stairs around this corner. Alright, and so as you see there, we do have 6,300 points in it right now. Well enough to pack a punch. But you can't really make it through the mansion with just a pistol. Takes almost a full clip to kill those witches, so we're just going to buy a $1,000 weapon off of the wall, and this is just my personal preference. If you're just going for this achievement, you can roll the box if you wanted to, but I like to use the B23R just because I know I'm getting that for 1,000 points. I know it's going to be something I can use, and it's actually a one-hit 3-round burst kill with the witches. And so now everything that's left is to actually get through and go to the Pack-a-Punch machine. Now you kind of want to watch as you go through here, because keep in mind the witches will steal your money. You kind of want to make sure you're easing around corners, you're aiming down the side all the time, and you can actually, if you know it very well, you can see where the witches will be spawning if you practice it enough. And so let's just go ahead and jump on in. And as you can see, one will spawn right here as soon as you get up the stairs. One may spawn to the right behind that bed, but if that cabinet is opening, then they won't. And so what I do here is I'll actually wait out a couple of witches and then proceed a little bit forward. You can see one popping around that corner. One may pop out on the right corner. And if you're right here, they're going to go ahead and spawn in this back room. And so from there, you want to go ahead and push your way forward and get out of the house. Alright, and so of course the witches are going to follow you, but instead of waiting here to kill them, because as soon as I do, the zombies will spawn, I'm going to go ahead and make my way through the maze and try to find my way through to the Pack-a-Punch. That way, you know, I can just kill the witches when I get there, rather than killing them in the maze and having zombies spawn to deal with. So I'm trying to find my way through the maze, and I actually do get a little lost here, so I'll have to kill all these witches that are coming up here, unfortunately. Alright, and so got the free perk. We'll go ahead and try a different way of getting through the maze. Come on. I know it's around here somewhere. Watch out for zombies. Alright, and so now we are at the gazebo. And so now you just want to make your way down. And you still have enough points to Pack-a-Punch with some left over. And again, guys, this is a solo strategy. You technically could do it on, you know, with a group of friends, but you'd have to have one person making sure that they're getting all the points. Also, another strategy is to do it while you're, say, down, you know, downing your friends and taking their points. But guys, I do thank you very much for checking out the video. Please be sure to leave a like if this video helped you. Again, we will be having more videos like this. If you have any questions about any of the tutorials, any of the Easter eggs, if there's an achievement that you want that is not on here, you know, definitely let us know. We'd be happy to make a video for you guys. But alright, that's going to be it for us, guys. I thank you very much for joining us. My name is Budacris. You guys take it easy.